There's one sentence that can completely dismantle a narcissist's entire psychological defense system. Just 5 words, simple on the surface, but they pierce through their carefully built facade like a lightning bolt through glass. These 5 words, rooted in a psychological insight Carl Jung uncovered decades ago, have the power to change how you deal with narcissists for the rest of your life. But before I reveal them to you, it's important you understand why they're so powerful and why narcissists will do anything to stop you from ever speaking them aloud. Stick with me, because by the end of this video, you'll possess a truth more powerful than confrontation, more precise than analysis, and more disarming than even public exposure. Let's begin with the day Carl Jung stumbled upon a discovery that forever shifted our understanding of narcissistic psychology. According to Jung, the human psyche is composed of layers: conscious, unconscious, shadow, persona. But the narcissist builds something artificial within this structure, what Jung termed the false self. This false self isn't just a mask, it's a survival mechanism. It's how the narcissist hides their deeply wounded inner reality. Often a self that feels empty, inadequate, and shame-ridden. And here's what shocked Jung most. This false self, though it appears strong, has one critical weakness, a hidden vulnerability that, when exposed, causes the entire structure to collapse. And it all comes down to one sentence. Now, you may think it has to be something complicated, deeply psychological, even clinical. But it's not. It's astoundingly simple, something a child could say, but it holds the power to end years of manipulation and psychological warfare. Why? Because it bypasses every single defense the narcissist has constructed. To fully appreciate its effect, you need to understand how narcissists function at a core level. Carl Jung explained that narcissists live in a state of what he called psychological inflation. They don't merely think they're better than others. They feel fundamentally exempt from the rules that govern normal human interactions. But this sense of superiority isn't confidence. It's delusion, a shield against their deepest fear, being ordinary. Jung discovered that beneath every narcissist's grandiosity lies a desperate fear of being nothing special, of being flawed, invisible, unimportant. It's this fear that drives their need for control, admiration, and constant validation. Their behaviors, cruelty, manipulation, emotional neglect, aren't accidents. They're designed to protect their inflated self-image. Here's where it gets really profound. Jung found that narcissists actually do know, on some unconscious level, that they're harming others. They just can't allow themselves to admit it, because doing so would destroy the illusion they've worked their entire life to maintain. They've built a fortress of excuses, justifications, and blame shifting to avoid that truth. But this one sentence, it slips past their fortress like a whisper in a silent room, and it cannot be unheard. You might be wondering if it's really possible to cut through all their defenses with just a few words. But not only is it possible, Jung's research and thousands of personal experiences prove that it's also consistently effective. So, what is this sentence? Before I give it to you, let's understand why most attempts to reason with narcissists fall flat. Jung warned that logic doesn't work on them. They don't live in the realm of reason. They live in the realm of narrative. Their narrative, one where they are always the hero or the victim, but never the problem. Jung also revealed a startling truth. Narcissists are not incapable of empathy. They've simply shut it down to protect their identity. They can feel, they just don't allow themselves to, unless it serves them. It's what Jung called selective empathy. But, and this is important, there is one sentence that forces that empathy out of hiding, a sentence that causes their internal narrative to glitch. Are you ready? The sentence is, your behavior is hurting people. That's it. 5 unassuming words, but in those words is a mirror the narcissist cannot avoid. When you say, your behavior is hurting people, you are not attacking. You are not blaming. You are not pleading. You are reflecting a truth about their impact. And narcissists cannot handle truth without control. Jung explained that narcissists rely on a fantasy, that their actions are helpful, misunderstood, or justified. They must believe they are either saving people or being unfairly criticized. They need the illusion of moral superiority, but this sentence strips them of that illusion. You're not talking about your pain. You're stating an objective observation about how their behavior affects others, and that is devastating. According to Jung, the reason this sentence hits so hard is because it activates a psychological phenomenon he called the mirror effect. The narcissist is forced for a fleeting moment to see themselves through the eyes of others, and not just one person, but multiple people. This causes what Jung described as cognitive collapse. Their mind enters a state of contradiction. They can't reconcile their belief in being a good person with the reality that their behavior causes pain, and something has to give. Now here's what happens next, and it's predictable. They'll try to dismiss you, or attack you, or flip the script and become the victim. But no matter their reaction, the truth is already inside them. The seed has been planted. And as Jung taught, a seed of truth can grow in even the most barren psychological soil. Some will lash out, others will break down, many will retreat. But they will never forget what you said. And this leads to what Jung called the delayed processing effect. The sentence might seem to bounce off in the moment, but it echoes in their subconscious for days, weeks, even years. But there's a right way to use this sentence. Jung emphasized that how you say these words is just as important as the words themselves. They must be delivered with calm certainty, not anger. Anger gives them a target. Sadness invites them to feel superior. Pleading makes them feel powerful. But calm truth? That's like holding up a mirror they can't shatter. Jung gave 3 critical rules for delivering this sentence. Rule 1, never say it in the heat of emotion. Wait until you can deliver it with steady clarity. Emotion undermines the impact. Rule 2, say the sentence. Then stop, do not explain. Do not justify. Do not debate. Jung warned that elaboration weakens its effect. Rule 3, be ready to walk away. Don't wait for a response. Don't try to convince them. Say it, and let it work on them silently after you're gone. Because the moment you say it, the process begins. According to Jung, narcissists go through a psychological sequence after hearing this truth. First comes shock, then comes defense, finally comes isolation and reflection. Whether they grow or run depends on their level of narcissism. But either way, you've broken the spell. If they grow, you've created space for accountability. If they retreat, you've freed yourself from their manipulation. Either outcome is a win. But what makes this even more powerful is what Jung called the ripple effect. When multiple people say this sentence to the same narcissist, a psychological collapse begins. One person can be dismissed, but 2, 3, more? The narcissist can no longer maintain the illusion. The collective reality becomes undeniable. That's why narcissists work so hard to keep people from talking. They isolate their victims so no one can compare stories. But when people do start sharing the truth, the narcissist's power erodes. This sentence doesn't just shift power, it rewrites the relationship entirely. Jung said once you say these words, you move out of the role of victim or silent enabler. You become someone who sees clearly and dares to speak the truth. And the narcissist knows they can't control someone like that. They'll either start behaving better, or they'll try to push you away. And either way, you've won. Finally, Jung left us with a deeper lesson. This sentence isn't just for narcissists. It's a mirror for all of us. We should all ask, is my behavior hurting people? Not from a place of guilt, but from a place of growth. Because the real power of this sentence isn't to wound, it's to awaken. And when spoken calmly, without judgment, it becomes not just a confrontation, but a revelation. The next time you encounter narcissistic behavior, remember Jung's advice. Don't argue, don't explain, don't defend, just speak the truth. Your behavior is hurting people. Then let that truth do what truth does best. Dismantle illusions, awaken conscience, and restore power to those who have been silenced for far too long.